crazy.
Because a year before the year he got released, I sent him a prayer and I said, I know he's going to come out very soon. I don't know how come I told him that, but he should read Psalm 35. So when he came out and I got to the stage and I was seeing him in flesh, you know, even though I saw him before the show.
Yes.
When I saw him like this, I couldn't take a picture with him.
Why haven't we seen collaborations with Wizkid or Davido, Shatta Wale?
Well, you know, so the genesis of this whole thing was, I met Davido first. He came to me.
Yeah, viewers, Charlie, Shatta Wale abekasa no abechirem said on Vybz Kartel ehwibo mu ache say prophecy den ode to na brabo say obey the free prison no Charlie waka ni nyina ne relationship said bibia start here waka ni nyina no we enso so osan so chechire mu one Burna Boy say yenhwe enim enche collaboration for be den ebeba ache say enya sem ketwa na no ne nda nchen no okasafa Davido ene Wizkid mu nyina ho ache say enya ezikra interview we de eseweni interview we dey say mu nyina mutimi eden butimi tv chale yehwe interview we ni embra.
My brother, listen, the last time we had a conversation was in 2015, April 8th, 2015,
exactly.
at Bang FM. Every time we sit down and talk, there's always very punchy topics that resonate with people. First of all, how are you doing? You look fresh, looking and smelling like
I'm just trying. I'm just trying to be me, you know. I think life is treating me good, you know. With the help of my team, you know, the head teams have reflected, you know, the rest. Everybody's just treating me good.
You came in style to London. Nobody was expecting until we saw a private jet take off from Accra and land in London.
We learned that from our Nigerian brothers, you know, because they are killing us, they are worrying us. Please, Davido, Burna Boy, and Wizkid, come down for us. We are now coming. I love them though. You know,
absolutely. Listen, it's interesting that you touch on those names. Of course, we know you've had a relationship or a history with Burna Boy in the past, and then you also had brief interaction with Wizkid. You've had a collaboration with Burna. Why haven't we seen collaborations with Wiz or Davido, Shatta Wale?
Well, you know, so the genesis of this whole thing was, I met Davido first. He came to me, told me the dad loved like one song that I did way back, you know, and you know that's how come he fell in love with you know my music, and we had a very good relationship. But you know, life when things start moving and they move so fast, we just have to accept it, you know, and that's how come you know people don't see me in Davido that much. You know? With Burna is like my twin brother. You know, he came to Ghana at a time where you know things were a little bit rough, but I saw him like, you know, Nigeria, I'm a Ghana. So I feel every Ghana.
It's close.
Yes, you know, so I saw him like, so I just try and, you know, played a few parts, you know, around him. And now he's busy too, you know, so I'm just looking at the picture and I go like, huh, Davido was busy, Burna is busy now
What about Wiz?
What about Wiz? Wiz is always a laid-back person.
Yes.
You know, the only time I had chance to meet him was when, you know, we had the show. Yeah, on the show, and it was beautiful. You know, and after that, I've been trying to, I think we had 1 or 2 times met around East Legon in my area, you know, with R2Bs and stuff, but I feel he's also busy, you know, and I also think I have a mission in my country to push the agenda of us going international. So I see all of them like my motivation. You know, I see them like, okay, if I've met these people and they've been able to break through, there's a way I should work towards my things. But I think gradually we're going to have some good collaboration.
Osana is a mad record.
Yeah.
You and your brother, Burna. Another record which both of you would be crazy, bro.
I know. But you know me and Burna, you know, we're going back and forth on the internet some time ago, and I feel now we've grown out of it. So I think it's something that will come. The mom is like, you know, my mom, because no matter what, you know, I take his mom as, you know, my mom, because she's been advising us a lot those days. When Burna used to be in Ghana, she comes to see us and stuff. But I believe it's something that is going to happen. I just think, you know, in life, few things happen, you know, and you know, and things go the way they have to go. I always watch him and go like, okay, when I met Burna, he was always asking me, "Oh, Mo, how you buy this car? How you get this house? Now music." I said, "Bro, now music." Hey, what? Like, Shatta, you did do too much. Like, so I felt he saw the energy from what I was doing because I was already good when he met me, and I made sure, I held him down the way a brother is supposed to hold a brother. So now when I see him, I feel like, okay, let me just let him enjoy. Brothers fight, but gradually we'll come back and be family. I don't think I've ever stood somewhere to say he's not doing good or he's done me bad or something. I feel the internet, people always go or find meanings into it, but behind the scenes, I know from my heart, genuinely is my brother, and one of these days people are going to see a good collaboration from me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You talk about the internet, you become a master of the internet. If you are not on TikTok live with your face painted white or something,
then I'm doing makeup. I'm doing makeup.
Talk to me about you using the internet to basically speak to the world. It almost feels like you've cracked the code. And you know what you're doing every time when you're doing that.
Well, I grew up with a dad who likes reading a lot and research, So I think there's this book my dad introduced to me, The Richest Man in Babylon. And one statement I loved about the whole book was, you should always be aware of the type of profession you want to partake or put yourself into before you go for it. And I feel music has been something that I study, I know much about, and I've grown with it. So for internet to come into my picture, I saw it like, wow, then at least if I want to send a message, I don't have to work anymore. If I have to do anything, I don't have to stress anymore. Everybody is there to support. So that is how come I took advantage of the internet. And I found out that this is, I always tell people, these are robots that, when you respect them, they will respect you back. So I always put my things out well, make sure sometimes when it's serious, it's serious. Sometimes when it's funny, it's funny. So I see the internet like a compound house. Like we are all staying together in the house and, we have fights, we laugh, we watch movies. So that is how come I've been so used to the internet. Like when you put a camera in front of me, I don't feel shy about it. Sometimes I wake up in the morning and I don't wear shirts and I want to do like, hey, Ghana, who is it? And I know people are coming, what's wrong with this boy? It's okay, but I see like, an environment where there is no violence, where, the law wouldn't find you wanting, I've decoded the whole thing like a place where it's of like opportunity. A place where when you are, focused on what you want to do, you can make it. Because gone are the days when we want to sell music, we have to travel all the way to America to bring our CDs and boxes. But today, if I can get a platform that says YouTube, that when I put my songs there, Jamaicans are going to listen, Americans are going to listen. Why don't I take opportunity? That's how come maybe I've been so much used to the internet.
Absolutely. I like the fact that you mentioned Jamaicans there. Listen, your relationship with King, Vybz Kartel.
Gaza.
That relationship the love is crazy.
I know, man.
Super genuine. It goes back and forth.
Spiritual, man.
Initially, when you went to the Freedom Street, concert, festival, whatever you want to call it, a lot of people weren't expecting to see you there. There was speculation. Maybe Shatta was going to show up. Maybe he wasn't going to show up. First of all, talk to me about your relationship with Vybz Kartel. How did it become strong? And then that trip to Jamaica.
So, my background of music, I would say, is more of reggae and dancehall.
Yep.
I grew up with a dad who always listens to reggae and dancehall. So I was listening to from CJ Louis to Shabba Ranks, Papa San, came back to Sizzla, came to, the Morgan Heritage, the Buju Banton. So I grew up with all these people, but once upon a time, I was listening to this song and I heard this voice and, the way the person was like going, it was a different style of all what I've heard from Jamaica. And that was how come I found Vybz Kartel. So I started listening to him long from home before I, came on the streets. You know, I was telling my boys even, like, every boy I see, like, my team, I said, do you know Vybz Kartel? They say, no, they don't know him. I said, no, he's a great musician, like, and that time, he wasn't even at the top.
Yeah.
So, fast forward, when I had his problem, you know, in Jamaica, I felt so bad. And he drew me back. Like, I was like, so who am I going to listen to motivate me more again? And so I took it to Instagram one time and I messaged him. Well, I knew maybe the management might or something. So I messaged him. I was like, I hope God takes you out of this. And, you know, I just want you to know that you've impacted my life and you've, you know, got me to a level where God has blessed me so much. So anytime you have time, you know, just get back to me. And I had this agent from Jamaica who called me one time and said, she's linked to them and she can link me to one of his people. So I started talking to Sean Storm, that is Vybz Kartel's 2IC. I started talking to him and he's like, okay, cool. He's going to get my message to Vybz and stuff like that. So I was always on my phone waiting for his message. Just one message, you know, for me to feel like he knows me.
He identifies you.
So I started, you know, playing songs about, you know, his freedom. You know, anywhere I go in Ghana, I talk about him. People don't really know him that, but I just say, let me hear you say free Vybz Kartel and stuff like that. So I think one time I was there and he messaged me. Wow. And that was how the relationship started. You know, and for 9 years I was talking to him in jail.
Wow.
Yeah, you know, I kept telling him, like, I believe he's going to be out. I tell my friends, like, my team, everybody knows. I tell them, Vybz is going to be out. And they tell me how, but, you know, his cases, I was like, no, this is a man that God has blessed. I feel it. And, you know, I'm spiritual like that too. So I was like, seeing him like, you know, okay, if he's done something bad, I don't think it should be that bad for him to be there. So I was always praying. So if you watch my DMs, I send him like Bible quotations. You know, I have like Bible quotations on my, you know, tattoos. So I send him some, I tell him to read some. I know by all means he might read some, they might not do, but I always tell him that I believe he's going to be out for me to see him. One time I went to Jamaica, I wanted to go and visit him. I didn't get a chance, but I kept pushing, you know, because I felt, I just see something different in him. Like, I don't know.
And what was that experience like when you now finally went to his concert at the stadium?
I felt like God came down that day. I felt like my visions were right. Yeah, my decisions, like, you know, people saw me to be a mad person when I was talking about him coming out from jail. Like, people saw like, no, come on, what are you saying? But that day I felt like, no, you know, my name is Junior too. So I talked to myself a lot. So I was like, no, Junior, like, all the things you thought about, this guy was right. Because today you're on stage with him.
Wow.
It was just that I didn't want to shed tears because it was a happy moment. But I was looking at him like, is this you? Like, because I was picturing that day, like, I know, and I was saving towards that. I told my team that any day Vybz Kartel comes out, I'm going to use my last money to go to Jamaica. Wow. Even if he doesn't invite me on stage, I want to be in the crowd and watch the celebration. But when I woke up one time and my name was on the flyer, you know, and he didn't tell me anything.
And that's what announced you.
And constantly since then, that's what he's been doing to me now. You know, he's been supporting some things I do.
You dropped the song, he did his own verse and posted straight away. That's crazy.
Because a year before the year he got released, I sent him a prayer and I said, I know he's going to come out very soon. I don't know how come I told him that, but he should read Psalm 35. So when he came out and I got to the stage and I was seeing him in flesh, you know, even though I saw him before the show.
Yes.
When I saw him like this, I couldn't take a picture with him. I couldn't, like, because I didn't want him. I've always told him that I'm a family to him. I don't know how related I am to him, but I know, like, in God's world, like, you know.
You're connected.
Yes, you know, so I couldn't take a picture of him when I saw him the first. So the second day on stage was when I was watching him, I was like, did I do my things right to meet this guy? You know, so that moment was like some spiritual moment for me, you know, and I loved it so much because I didn't want to also go to stage and perform all my dancehall songs for him to see. I feel he's watched me so much. So just to grace the occasion and let him know that I appreciate him so much. And in Africa, when we appreciate people, we bow to them, you know, because we know who kings are, you know, and that's how come, you know, I also bowed for him and told him, you know, everything I wanted to tell him. And I think since then it's been so beautiful in my life. You know, since I met him, my life has changed. Like things have gone on in my life. I've gotten like businesses out of it. Like a whole lot of things. Like,
Now,
yeah,
Vybz, the support on social media, the love is shown you.
it's crazy.
You know, the question is Shatta bringing Vybz to Ghana? That is the $1 million question.
The teacher. You know, I'm working on it. You know, I'm the type of person that don't like to take advantage of people. You know, and I don't want to get into people's space too much. You know, I feel some people need privacy. And since he came out from jail, I felt he had his own plans to work things out. So I'm just waiting for the right time, even though I'm talking to some promoters to bring him down. I think yesterday we were here and Sammy, me and Bulak called me and he said he's speaking to some people to organize, you know, a show in Ghana because I really want him to come to Ghana and work as work, not come as, oh, because Shatta, you know. So I'm working on it for him to get, you know, some good payments so he can come to Ghana and, you know, also perform.
Enjoy.
Yeah, you know. Yeah.
So, some of the biggest fan bases in the world are Beyonce, the Bees, Wizkid, FC, you know, you've got 30 BG, huge fan bases.
Yeah.
Shatta movement.
To the world. Shatta movement is #1.
Talk to me about that relationship, man. It's crazy. You know, when I remember, you know, when you had the situation with the government and you were held up, Sammy was outside. Even Sammy, he was under instructions of Shatta.
No, it's an empire. Shatta movement is an empire, you know. And I believe now, the reason why I love somebody like Sammy Flex is that he's ticked like everything that I've.
Yeah, viewers, chale video ya wohwe free ashase kosi ewe e bia wan awo adwenkyere bi chale comment section e den e ya wo de comment wadwen e den e wo ho na like video na share ma foforo. Road Planet ACTV suni and I'm out. Pow.